Welcome back to another episode of the Box In Podcast. Today on the show we have a very special guest, Luis the Mayor Mora. How you doing today?
Good, sir. Good.
The Mayor Mora. Did you go by the Mayor Mora?
Yeah.
That was your name back in the
mayor,
ring, right? The Mayor.
Got it from coworkers, boxing, working, school.
Do you have any aspirations to be the mayor of Los Angeles?
Hell no.
How you know?
Because I just want to work for the mayor.
Quickly, for anyone who doesn't know, who's listening to this episode,
it's a hard job, bro.
It's
a hard job.
You've been working in the mayor's office or in City Hall for, is it 10 years now? 13 years now.
13 years, yeah.
And that had kind of been part of the, because every fighter has somewhat of a story, somewhat of a way to market yourself. Mm. And I remember when you were fighting, the boxer from the mayor's office was part of that story on fight night. And in fact, actually, that's how we met. Because my dad would run into you in City Hall, and he said, Garrity, there's this boxer, you should meet him. And then he, I think, told you, hey, my son's boxing. And then eventually we sparred together, and you helped me out big time. I remember when I first came back from college and was wanting to get some experience with some pros.
No.
That's too.
No, we were working.
I pushed him one more round though. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to go one more, and I was like, nah.
He said, no, you gotta go.
We're gonna go one more.
I came in with beer weight on, So
I can feel it.
But now it's reversed. Now you got the beer weight.
Well,
Now he's looking good. He's looking slim.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep the weight, bro. And I'm getting older. I just hit 30. It's so hard to lose weight.
He looks like he'd be working for the mayor's office, or he could be a narco.
No.
Put the polo shirt on, tucked in.
The hat's over there. I should put the hat on.
At least, if I could do some acting, that would be pretty good.
The novella.
No, hey, novela. Hey, my name is Luis Fernando.
Hey, that's perfect. You sound like a novella star right there.
Yeah, bro.
How'd you make your way to the mayor's office?
High school, I finished early due to an accident I had, and they didn't want me in the streets.
Okay.
So they were like, "What are you gonna do for 6 months?"
They being your counselor
my counselor, yeah, my high school counselor is like, "What are you gonna do? You can't be in the streets for 6 months. You 6 months to your graduation." Because I wanted to graduate on stage. So
yeah, of course.
He was like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna be home." He's like, "No." He's like, "I'm gonna get you an internship." All right, cool. So he got me an internship with DWP, and from DWP there were 2 packed.
That's the Department of Water and Power?
Yeah, okay. And so I wanted to work there because that's where everybody was at.
Yeah, it's good money too, right? The DWP.
Yeah, but as an intern, no, but after. So then they were like, "Who wants to go to the mayor's office or City Hall?" And I was just like, "Fuck, no."
So it seems like it would be intimidating at 18.
Yeah, I was 17 actually. I was 17 and I was like, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to do this." So then they picked me. They picked me, my cousin, and some other individual.
You're the one that stuck with it, or your cousin stuck with it too?
My cousin went to Home Depot, and the other guy stuck with it. He's with one of the councilmen. I don't know which one, but I just ran into him last week too, and I was like, "Damn, bro."
Okay. That's
so
cool.
I even showed
internship class.
I showed him a picture. I have a picture. I'll show you guys at the end of the graduation from that program. It was called the Youth Service Academy.
Okay.
So once I graduated, they give you a probation, 6 months to like work where you're at. Mm-hmm. But after that, you gotta find your own way. So after 6 months, I was already like applying. I got like a few job offers outside of the city. Mm-hmm. So then, luckily, the guy that I was an intern for got promoted to the mayor's photographer because he did photography on the side. Okay. So they're like, "Yo,
opened up for you.
You want the job?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" But I was like, "But check it. I'm going to college. I can only do part time." But no worries. We'll make it part time just for you. So they made it.
When you're 18 and you're telling girls that you work for the mayor's office?
I didn't use it.
That probably would have come with a receipt.
Well, I would tell like my friends, I would tell them like, "Oh, I work for the mayor." But they didn't understand. They were like,
"It's probably not that cool, to be honest."
Is that just some adult shit?
It wasn't cool because
in Lincoln Heights, I don't think that's that cool, right?
No, not cool.
But he's gonna know he's got his shit.
I mean,
together.
not with the people around my age. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the older people that are like, "Oh my God, he works for the mayor's office."
Right.
The neighborhood is so. They have everything backwards.
Right. Of course,
They think you're a boxer. They think you're rich off the bat. especially because some guys get big contracts. They think everybody gets it. So everybody in the neighborhood thought I was gonna be a millionaire. All the girls want you for all the wrong reasons.
They want you because of boxing. You ever think about the women that are attracted to boxers? Like, they're probably not the best. They're not the cream of the crop.
Well, I've seen some of those girls.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about beauty wise. I'm talking about how they
decision making.
Decision making.
Thinking that that's a good idea.
Like that's like anybody.
Well,
a good partner.
Both how they look, and so there are some good-looking women that.
I always tell any
then
women I know that like, hey, you're around like, any fighters. I'm like, listen, the last thing you want to do is date a fighter or anybody that's involved in boxing. Everybody's broken. Like,
I mean, you're broke, bro, and that's the thing. Like, people thought I had money.
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing, bro. You know what we're making fighting? What were we making, bro?
$800.
Yeah.
If anything.
Especially when you gotta do medicals.
What was your biggest payday?
My biggest payday was
on a 6-rounder, maybe, or
no. I never fought 6 rounds. I was supposed to fight 6 rounds. Well, actually, I did fight a 6 round, and I lost my last fight with Dwayne. That was supposed to be a 6 rounder. But
you sold that. I was there that night. You had a lot of support.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had a big fan base, but
you came out in black and gold, right?
Blue.
Okay.
No, black and gold. Yeah.
Yeah. You look clean. I remember thinking like your outfit.
I mean, my manager, he took very, very good care of me, bro. We had a few like.
Who were you with?
I was with Ringstar.
Okay.
Management. So George Madrigal and Juan Hernandez. That's what I started with. Yeah. I don't know what happened. At the end, it ended up just being George.
Right.
And then George sold the name to Richard Schaefer. I had Richard Schaefer at my fight. Not the one where I lost, the one before.
Okay.
I had Richard Schaefer there.
And for people that don't know, Richard Schaefer, Al Heyman, and
dude, I was excited.
Richard Schaefer used to be part of Golden Boy. He was really the financial mind that grew Golden Boy.
Yeah, and Heyman.
I mean, it was good. It was a good feeling having him there.
Former banker that moves into boxing.
He probably didn't like my fight as
from
much.
From Sweden, right?
Switzerland.
As much as I think. Well, I was coming back from a long layoff, 2 years I think, or a year and a half. Mm-hmm. The reason I took time off was because I didn't find the right trainers, the right gym. So we moved out of Lincoln Heights and we relocated to Montebello. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Ponce gym was at. And I was driving from Lincoln Heights over there. And it was
what year was
tough.
this and what age?
2013. I was 24.
Okay.
So we relocated over there. And I mean, I was already trained over there, but the drive was crazy, bro. The drive every day from work to school.
Especially at that time of day.
Well, I went to Cal State LA, so that kind of worked as well.
Right there in the mix of everything.
Yeah, so, but it was tough. It was tough it was a lot of pressure. And I mean, I was well taken care of by my management. My biggest paycheck back to that was $1,650, and it was supposed to be $1,200. And I don't know why Golden Boy threw in for. I don't know if it was Golden Boy or my manager. I don't know what happened.
At the Roy show too, though, they throw cash into the ring too, right?
Yeah, for that one, they threw in around $400.
Yeah,
I took home 200.
Yeah, people that we're talking about on the podcast. There's a show in Orange County where the crowd will throw cash into the ring after the bout and reward you if it was a good fight.
Yeah. So
and you guys were. Like
I mean, we went at it. Dude, that guy was a clown. He at the end of the fight, he told me they robbed me. You know they robbed me. I want to hear you say it. And I told him, dude, the only thing that got robbed here tonight is the money that you're taking from the people throwing in the ring, because you didn't do shit to deserve that money. You were running.
Right.
You were boxing, but people don't come to see that boxing.
No.
You know that they want to see hits, which is a bad thing because it's a bad thing.
I think if you got a kid, what I say to everybody is, if you got a son and you got a guy that comes around and says, "Hey, I could teach your son how to hit, not be hit."
And I've heard that from your last podcast.
Yeah. Or you got a son and you say, "Hey, listen, you know what? He's gonna take 4 or 5 to get the one, but he's gonna be real tough." Well, I hate to use this guy's name, but like you spent some time in Maywood and with Junior Urbano Antion, and to sort of see like
I've seen him
to have a conversation with Urbano Antion and see that he struggles with speaking,
And the thing is that I met him like that, so I didn't really like.
You didn't know when he was 16 or 17.
Think about it.
Yeah.
And as you see, that's the problem. I'm 30 now. I've been out of the sport for going on 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. And now these last few years have been the most beneficial to me, because now I understand boxing.
Right.
I do some stuff in the bag that I never did before. I worry about getting hit. I don't want to get hit.
Yeah, when you're younger, you get your balls are hanging and swinging.
And that was my coach, my first coach, Hector Shark Rodriguez. Yeah. Rest in peace. He had the boxing fundamentals on point. But at the time when I got there in 2001, he was already he was old. So he could only do so much. He would tell us, but he couldn't show us. So the guys that were there prior to my years, they were badass. Right. Because they hit and move, boom, 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 right. Hands down, and the best defense ever. Yeah. I was like, damn, how these motherfuckers do that?
There's a lot of great fighters in LA at that time. Carlos Formos Hernandez comes to mind. Chicanito, Gennaro Hernandez comes to mind. But there was great fighters coming out of LA. Even you look at Shane Mosley.
Well, that gym, I think it was the
LA Boxing.
LA Boxing. I think by the time I got to boxing, that gym was on his way out.
Yeah, but you had dudes.
But even the last of the LA Boxing Club's crop. Yeah. Right now are doing well.
You got Flavio Rodriguez.
But also Terremoto. He's Leo Santa Cruz, right?
Yeah, well, his brothers were in that gym.
Yeah,
I don't think he was.
No, Armando was. Leo was too young. And the other brother.
And them too, it took a few of them to get him there where he's at. Yeah. I think... I
always trip out that Armando got robbed against Joel Casamayor. You remember that?
I never watched that fight.
He fought Casamayor in the undercard of Mayweather Hatton. And should have been Mayweather.
Okay, you know what? I might have watched the Mayweather Hatton. That's when Hatton got knocked out, right?
Yeah. It's just that Armando Santa Cruz, Leo Santa Cruz's older brother.
Yeah, well, I think
I was in that fight, but they robbed him.
I think I was in Maywood. Yeah. We watched it in Maywood that day.
He would have been world champion, which would have been. I mean, it just sucks that boxing works out that way because imagine if you're. To me, Armando won that fight and should have got his championship belt. They gave it to Casamayor, but he deserved it, and that would have been cool. Just to have been your brother had a championship, and Leo obviously has his legacy.
I mean, that's boxing. I hate boxing.
Spill mode,
does that shit. Yeah, and that's why I feel like every time you fight a boxer, you need to. Yeah, if you have enough rounds, you have to go all out. Yeah, because even if you go all out, they still have this draw thing.
You look at two fights with
they give it a draw.
And we could probably all agree it's Castillo and
Castillo
Maidana.
Beat him, yeah.
Castillo, the first Castillo and the first Maidana. So these are the two fights. No matter what, if you go back and you look at them, we quite not sure with the Castillo fight. I definitely think that, but even with the Maidana, the first fight, the Floyd could have possibly lost that fight. And that's just, but it was both of them had a mentality of especially, that they were going to fight But now training someone to do that. Is having someone that has that sort of temperament and will, that's a completely different conversation within itself because, go out there and just every second put your balls on the line and go for it.
But these judges, man, they're not seeing what we see. Yeah. That's the sad part. I mean, one judge gave it to Canelo, and Canelo, did he give it or did he give it a draw, I think?
We
Canelo Mayweather.
One judge gave it to Canelo.
See what I mean?
And Canelo got best thing for Canelo's career though, because now Canelo walks away from that more defense, more slicker, more multi-dimensional.
And I get it. So that's why I feel like, if I had we were broke, my parents didn't have a car. My mom and dad were always working, so I only had one choice: LAYAC, the county jail, the old county jail, or no gym. I couldn't walk all the way to Hollenbeck. Yeah. Plus, gang infested neighborhood. Yeah. There's one gang here, there's one gang here, there's one gang here. Yeah. Just from where I lived to Hollenbeck, it was 10 plus gangs.
Yeah, you had to walk through all those sets.
Through all those, yeah. And I mean,
if
you're not, it's cool if you're not, but they still punk you. They still come up to you. They still want to know. If you're from that side, you're from that side. Stay on your side. Don't come over here. You get jacked.
We've talked about it before, you and I, about. I remember some of your stories about, even when guys from the neighborhood did come to your fights and they supported your fights, you still wanted to make sure that you wouldn't go out and celebrate with them because there was always.
And I was always invited, bro. I was always invited.
You don't know what
we came to your fight.
Yeah.
We're gonna celebrate.
Shit can crack off.
And I'm like, nah, I gotta go home. I had a son. I was like, I gotta go home and sleep. Gotta go home and rest. I mean, rest is it's
Well, you
needed, bro.
talk about that. I grew up in a part of Los Angeles that Norwalk, so it's the St. Anderson.
Yeah, well, same thing, right? Norwalk down.
But having to cross the, I remember being with my sister sometimes and being like, oh, there goes that. So we got to cross the street and going through some back streets, or if they're playing handball at the down at the courts, being like, oh shit, we can't walk by him because you might get taxed, or we'll run across a young one that's
that used to happen
trying to get his stripes
all the time.
Yeah, talk about that.
I used to walk to school, and it was like a good 3 miles every day, or walk back from school. The bus didn't work all the time because it would be packed, so you would have to get out really fast. And I wasn't one of those kids, so I would walk, and I knew how to box, but and then they knew that. So they wanna test you.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not trying to fight. I'm not that kind of person. Right. So I would know where to walk, where to walk through and where not to. But sometimes these guys would just like
they're gonna be there.
They just walk through it there at a certain moment. I mean, I moved to LA at 11, so it was like 2 years of middle school. And 4 years of high school, same thing. So it got better in high school because everybody started to know me, and high school was closer to home. But you still have all these little cliques and everything. And I actually went to school with Leo Santa Cruz, and I had a class with his sister, and she was the one that would tell me, oh yeah, my brother, blah blah blah. My brother's gonna drop out of school. He's gonna focus all out. My dad's gonna support him. And I was like, damn, this sounds fucking crazy. The fuck is he thinking? But as you can see, it doesn't work for everybody. But it worked for him because he's very dedicated, bro. In Maywood, because he was part of Maywood at that time. I never knew someone like him that actually followed through, took his dad's advice.
The same drill, practicing left hooks to the body. Literally, the one that he throws. I remember watching his dad would wear
one two body.
Yeah, his dad would come in there with the loafers, with jeans on, and like sometimes I would watch some of the Rios sparring. The Rios from Santa Ana would spar Armando, and I was trained by Chicanito, so sometimes I'd go in. But I was much older, but I'd go watch sparring over there with him. Like I would look and be like, in Janar Hernandez told me, he said this guy's gonna be a world champion because he gets it, because he'll work on the same shit over and over again. Yeah, I mean,
it's true, and it's funny how he, since the amateurs, he's had that little tick. Little tick. Yeah. It's like, I always think about him, like, dude, how do these fucking opponents not get it? Yeah. When he does that, like, to me, of course, it's different when you're in the ring, but I feel like when he does that, you already know he's about to throw. He's about to throw. It's coming. Like, he does it and he throws. And then he'll do this little like waist thing.
He's another guy that has a build though, for not because he's very long.
Yeah, the hands, they're very long. So like he's like this.
Yeah, his
elbows. Good luck. You're gonna hurt your hand hitting his elbow. Yeah. And it's a tough one. But it worked for him. I'm proud of him, man. Like he doesn't really know me like that, but I'm proud of him. Like I really do. I like when people make it out of the neighborhood, and I'm saddened by the individuals who don't make it out, because that's a trap.
Right.
Yeah. We box and we do all this to make it out of there.
To get out.
So I'm glad.
And they want to pull you back too.
Dude, they pull you back to the fullest. Like there's no. I even feel like.
They'll call you a sellout if you don't come back.
I mean, hey, I don't go back. Yeah. People tell me, why you're not proud. I'm proud of where I was raised, but why would I want to go back? See, I was raised in Anaheim as well, and as a kid, I wanted to be a hockey player, but my parents couldn't afford that, man. Like it was ridiculously expensive. It's not like today. Nowadays,
still one of the most expensive sports though, for sure.
But it's more affordable. It's more affordable, and they actually like want you to play. They'll give you the equipment. I take my son to try to like get him into it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
My dad took me to the first place my dad took me to was a karate place, right? So all right, cool. I was excited.
Where
in Anaheim.
Oh, in Anaheim.
So, but I wanted to fight, and we'll go why I wanted to fight. So as I'm getting older, I'm puzzling my life together, because you don't know why you do shit till you get older. Like you're like, oh damn, I know why I was doing that. So he takes me in, right, and I'm like thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna fight, and then they do this, yeah, Yeah, like fake. And I was like, Dad, get me the fuck out of here. Get me out of here. Like, I'm not doing this. Yeah. And the lady's like, no, look, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, nah.
I
want to hit somebody. Like
a program to be able to sell belts usually, you know? Like they sell you you're taking the test for the yellow belt and then take the test for the green and the purple.
Really? Is that how it works?
I mean, that's how it works in the neighborhood that I grew up in, but maybe not the same.
But
see, it is a system.
I took karate in Pico
It's
Rivera,
a business model.
and it was this. I remember my dad wanted me to box, but I was like watching a bunch of ninja movies, so I was like, no. So I first started karate in Pico Rivera, but then when he went to actually go use it, I was like,
so I was just like
getting my ass kicked. I was like, this shit doesn't work.
So then I started playing soccer. Orange PD. Shout out to Orange PD, man. They used to come in the summer, and they used to pick us up every day in a few like vans. Yeah. They pick up everybody from my apartments because we lived like in the shady part of Orange. Obviously, you know, we were broke as hell. So
people don't know too. Even Orange has got a part of the area that
Anaheim, Orange, Tustin.
People get shot over there too.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And it's funny because like people think when I say Orange that I'm saying the county of Orange. Yeah. No, there's literally a city called Orange in the city of Orange.
That Chicano culture
in the county of Orange
was definitely, especially all throughout the late 80s and the 90s and you know up until I feel like it's violent because of gang injunction. Because you can't
hang out.
It saved LA for me because you can understand this as a kid. I was scared to go to the park, scared to ride the bike to a mall. So, you know, even riding them, I used to ride my bike through the LA riverbed, and there'd be, you know, like sometimes we would ride through Hawaiian Gardens, and everybody would be down there, and you're like
hiding from the cops.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're going down the embankment because if you're not, you're about to get jumped by a bunch of dudes from
jacked.
Yeah, jacked. They're gonna steal your bike, and but the gang injunction being this thing in LA that I feel like it was a good thing because now gang members can't congregate outside, and if you're affiliated or if you've had any, you know, you're convicted of any crimes. So
I mean, it did help, but
it's crazy now though.
They didn't do a gang injunction in the city of Orange though, right?
I think
no, it's just for LA County, right?
No, but I think County of Orange as well has it down as well. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of gangs over there. I didn't notice them. I was young. We moved over there when I was 3. I was born in Lincoln Heights. We moved to Santa Ana, then we moved to Anaheim, then we moved to Orange, and then we moved back to Anaheim, and then we moved around multiple times. I went to 3 different schools over there, all elementaries, and. Three different schools, yeah, for sure. And I didn't see it. My dad even told me, like, dude, like, you didn't see it because it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Compared to LA, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, LA is just completely different.
Like, so then I would tell my dad, hey dad, I want to play hockey. My dad would take me to all the Duck games because my dad used to get like company tickets. So I want to play hockey. I was like, it's too expensive, son. Like, we can't play. I was like, fuck, man, can't play. I let it go. So then I just played soccer every summer while we lived in Orange, and man, it was the best time ever because they pick us up, take us to the park, we play in leagues, bring us back, and then my mom would get home, boom, you know. So then shit got tough. We lost our apartment. We had to move to they don't call them projects over there.
Yeah.
But they're projects. You know what I mean? It's just like 3 full blocks of just apartments, and they all look the same.
It's all low income housing. Right.
Yeah, like they don't say it like that. It's a weird way they put it. Like now leasing, and then you go and they don't even like do background, bro. They just so we moved into a room for one of the people that lived in the apartments. They rented us a room, so it was me, my little brother. He was newborn. My dad and my mom in a 1-bedroom. So then shit got tough. My dad came to LA. Was like, you know what? I know what to do over there. So he came over here. He started construction. Started working with my godfather, and then my godfather took us in and we moved in. To me, it was the worst thing that ever happened in my life, moving back to LA.
Yeah.
The worst thing ever.
You were at your godfather?
11. Yeah, and I was 11. So we moved in.
You got to deal with a bunch of shit in the streets.
And then my dad sat me down and he was like, look, this is not Anaheim. You ain't gonna
close to playing hockey in Anaheim.
Then
you're in Lincoln Heights again.
So then,
I think that too, like you're young. And not everybody wants to, people don't want to deal with that shit.
Dude, I had a fucking blonde, little blonde hair. I used to use the spray can.
Oh, that was the era of the tips, right?
Yeah,
the tips.
Yeah. And I had
plus you have blue eyes too.
Little blonde hair. Yeah. So I had a comb to the side.
A wave.
I was fucking with my etnies.
Do you have puka shells? You had puka shells for sure.
What was that?
Puka shells?
This is the Hawaiian necklace, the shell necklace.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to school thinking I was all cool. Yeah, that was my last years in elementary over there. Because it goes up to 6th grade over there.
Yeah.
So then, so imagine this kid with skater with etnies, fucking cargo shorts. And I come to Lincoln Heights.
A shorties shirt.
I had a shorty. I had a shorties. I had the other one with the angel and the devil. Remember?
World Industries.
World Industries. Yeah. And not only that one, the one with the angel, the one with the little angel. The you had thumbs up. I had a board. I can't think of it.
Is it something club? Something?
No. But anywho, so I come to LA, and my dad just sat me down. He's like, "Look, it's not over there. You're gonna be tested over here. You might even be asked to join a gang or a crew or whatever. No, do not do it."
You had a good dad.
And yeah, I mean, my dad's great, bro. He
to break that down to you.
He had some demons. Mm-hmm. I think everybody does at some point in their life, and he went through some tough shit. But you look at my dad now, he looks healthy. He runs every day. He still smokes, but he smoked before and after running. He's a funny guy. But
like Mayorga.
Dude, and we were just wrestling. We were wrestling the other day because I did a UFC trial.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, and I came home and I was like, oh, I'll make you tap out. He was like, all right, let's go. And he made me tap. Dude, he almost broke my arm.
For real?
He's like, tap out, and I was like, nope. And I was just like, it's a toughness,
it's
and then and my dad's like, dude, just tap out. And after 10 seconds, I had to do it because he was literally, he didn't want to, but he said, dude, I'm gonna show you, I'm not old, I still got it. So it's 1-0, but I'm gonna get him back. I'll get him back.
Yeah.
But the UFC stuff was pretty amazing, bro. It was tough. It's different. But my dad, he always he wasn't there, he was always working.
But he kept it 100 with you, especially I'm telling you.
So then I go to school and shit, everything he said and more. Luckily, some guy Mariano from he was raised in Cypress Park. Shout out to Mariano. He took me under his wing. He was just like, dude, you'll be my friend, and everybody seemed to know him. He was born and raised in Cypress Park, and my school, Nightingale, was right there in Cypress. So that was the school I had to go to. But dude, it was far. We had to take a bus and still walk. So dude was so cool. He wasn't a troublemaker, but he was raised around it, so he was very familiar.
Yeah, he was.
So he was. I mean, shout out to that guy. That guy's he was amazing. He was an amazing friend at that time. But
you still in contact with him?
No. But I've seen him because his daughter and my son play basketball in the same rec. So I see him. I just say hi to him. I really don't talk to anybody.
Do you think he doesn't realize how big of an impact he had in your life?
He doesn't even know.
Because maybe he was that same guy to a lot of people. That was just who he was.
Yeah, but I don't think it. Where we're raised, we don't see it like that. We see it normal. It's just you hang out with this certain individual, then he comes with other people, and we're too young at that time. See, my dad came from an era where in middle school it was gang infested. When I went to middle school, it was only crews and little stuff like that.
Your dad was born in LA?
No, but he was raised in LA.
Okay.
He was born in Guadalajara.
Okay.
And
that's why you got the eyes
the blue.
Yeah. His grandpa.
Yeah.
So my great grandpa had the green eyes, and I met them. I went to Mexico when I was 2. I still remember, bro. Even though I was 2, I literally remember. Not through pictures. I remember. It's weird. I remember the room I slept in. I remember my great grandpa. I remember it. It didn't snow. It hailed.
Yeah.
It hailed. Dude, I remember. It's. But I don't remember other stuff. And then my grandpa had guns, and he would always want me to My grandma hated that because they're not together, right? So my grandma hated my grandpa always showing off his guns and stuff like that. So my grandpa has a picture.
The 2-year-old.
My grandpa. Well, I wasn't loaded, but my grandpa has a picture of me holding his gun at 2, and he thinks it's so. But to his defense, he says, that's because I wanted to motivate you to become a cop. And it kind of did. I mean,
Is he a cop?
No. He's a good businessman.
So, but
he's self-employed, bro, and he has a shitload of money.
But so your dad growing up in LA, Los Angeles has a rich gang culture. It's probably,
we're talking about the 80s, late 70s.
Yeah,
so.
and then so he's saying, hey, listen, like this shit has been here. It's probably been going on since the 30s, 40s, and 50s. You got generational sets like that literally got like started a long time ago.
It's so crazy.
And it's so just entrenched in the culture, especially if you're a Chicano from LA or even if you're a Chicano from San Diego or in parts of Orange County, that it ends up being this thing where it's like you're dealt to deal with this because you don't know. You're just born into a certain zip code, and then all of a sudden you're a certain age and you're like, well, what do you mean all these dudes down the street, you know, are flagged up with a particular color and they represent some hood, and it's like it's just basically on go when they see you just because you're not affiliated.
Dude, yeah, there was this one time after middle school, there was this place called Cypress Best. We just go there to eat and hang out, and this one guy he was outside. He got in a fight over some crew stuff, and we were just looking, and the guy just nailed him, boom, knocked him out. So then the guy that got knocked out just leaves, right? He leaves running. He gets up and leaves running, and then the guy comes in. He sits down, and he's like right across from us. And he's like, yeah, you know, he was all celebrating that he knocked that guy out. And then all of a sudden, you just hear a knock on the window, like, and he looks out. I mean, everybody looked out because it was pretty loud. And it was the guy he knocked out with a bigger guy, and the guy was hitting the mirror with the gun. Yeah. Come outside. The guy was like, he laughed. Like the guy was crazy. The one that was inside, he was crazy. He was just laughing. He's like, shoot me in here, where the cameras are. And the guy's, come outside. And dude, I was such scared myself. Everybody was just like, what's going on, Yeah. But eventually, the guy had balls. That guy came out. He was all right. Fuck it, I'll go outside. And the guy with the gun just told him, like, get in the fight again, one more time. And the second time, they just went at it. Nobody got knocked out. So I think what the thing was that the guy got caught, like, by surprise. Mm-hmm. So he dropped him. So he went and brought his brother or whatever it was. So I was around all that stuff, It was
I'm sure you lost
traumatizing, bro.
If you're growing up in LA, like I lost friends growing up.
Oh,
people on the block and shit like that.
And I don't know if I actually considered them friends.
Yeah, but they're just there.
They were there, like I talked to them, whatever. But I never hung around any of the people that actually died. Mm-hmm. I did hang around people who ended up in jail for life.
Yeah, a lot of people in jail.
In middle school. Like middle school, a lot of middle school guys that I went to school with, after middle school, just chose the wrong route.
I used to say, if you're growing up, depending on where you're going to LA, it's either people end up in jail, they're dead, or they had kids super early.
Well, that's often a way out, right? A way to separate yourself.
Dude, what I've heard, because I've been arrested, unfortunately. I did do a little bit of jail time because the judge didn't think I would learn my lesson. And dude, jail is not for a normal human being, bro.
Of course not.
No way. You know what I mean? I didn't see anybody in there. I actually did see one person that I knew, like towards my way out, and I was cleaning the buses. Luckily, that was like the best thing ever. Cleaning buses all day, And it's crazy what they like. You're Hispanic. You have to hang out with your side or whatever, right? But when you're cleaning the buses, everybody's helping everybody. Yeah. But as soon as you're not cleaning the buses, guess what? Yeah. The guy you were talking to cleaning the bus, he's not looking at you. Yeah. Don't even look at me. Yeah. And it's like, and I didn't know that. I mean, I kind of knew, but I didn't know that it was that. Dude, I tried to talk to this guy. This guy was like, nah, like, who the fuck are you? Like,
the shot callers are making rules.
I was like, I don't know. So I would never want to go in there again, and I know I won't. If I make the right choices in life, like I've been. It was just driving with a suspended license after unfortunately getting a DUI. Mm-hmm. So they don't take that lightly because they're like, you got a DUI, you shouldn't even be driving, and they're right, But at that time, 24-year-old, I was like, well, but I'm going to work. But I'm going to work. I'm not going anywhere. I'm all suited up. I'm going to work. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Find another way to work. I know that as an adult now.
How long were you in jail for that?
A few days.
Okay.
A few days.
And that was when you were in
county, huh?
No, not that moment that I got arrested. The moment I got arrested, yeah, they did book me in, and it was funny because well, it wasn't funny, but luckily when they booked me in, I'm all suited up, and there was these two guys in there, right? And they're African American, so I was just like, oh shit, you know. They get pulled out, and one of them throws something on the floor, right? So I was just like, oh. So I tell the guy, hey, there's something on the floor. It's not mine. So they take my hands out, they handcuff me, and then the cop gets it and he throws it in the trash. And I said, didn't you want to check what it was? He's like, it was just garbage. So I was like, okay, cool. It probably just was garbage. I was just paranoid. I want to get out of that. So luckily for me, man, one of the guys that I know from City Hall was booking somebody in. So I hit the mirror like, hey, yo. He's like, dude, what the hell are you doing here? I was like, dude, they arrested me for suspended license. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't worry, let me talk to the watch commander. So luckily, he did, and they let me out like at 3 p.m. They booked me like at 9. They let me out at 3, and my ass went straight to work, bro. I called my boss from work, and I told her what happened. But I went to work, because at that time I was already realizing that was a great job.
Yeah.
But first couple of years, bro, was tough because you're working like an adult, and all your friends are partying. All your friends are like, come on, come party. No, I can't. Why? I got work tomorrow.
It's also like people, you could be in circles just by where you were born into. Mm-hmm. And everybody could be making the wrong decision. And somehow all of a sudden that becomes normal. Mm-hmm. Like just even being at the gym sometimes, 'cause the gym that I work at is the east side of Long Beach. There's all kinds of shit that's going on. But things that innately are wrong, you end up being like, you're almost like, such and such just got the shit beat out of him, outside. Oh, okay, cool. And then like, a couple minutes later, you're buying a cup of coffee and you're not even thinking about it. Yeah. But it's like what you're forced to deal with in these communities and those everyday sort of things that you're basically pacifying in your mind and being like, oh, this is completely acceptable, which is not acceptable at all. Right?
Because back to like boxing, I would walk. So my cousin started me off. He was going to the gym. Shout out to my cousin Carlos. He was like, come on, let's go. I was like, cool, yeah. I really didn't like it. But then I was like, you know what? This might be for me. Mm-hmm. I need to learn how to fight. So then this one guy, Eric, he thought he was the toughest guy ever. He was part of the gym as well, and he would go to school with me, and he would like always like try to punk me like, hey, you're a pussy, you don't know how to fight, fucking birdie boy, blah blah blah. He was tough. He was mentally tough. Like you look at him in the street, you thought, oh my god, this guy could beat up a whole crew or a whole gang. So then finally I started training, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. So then I started boxing, and I went with his coach, which was Shark. And then because we were with Chivo, there was a guy called Chivo. He was my cousin's trainer, and that motherfucker was known for like, he wouldn't train you, he wouldn't do mitts, he would just yell at you. Like, come on, cabron, pinche joto, da da da. Like, that was just what he was known for.
Like, that's the joke me and Trevor have about, like, before I got to, because I'm training with Trevor now and kind of learning a whole new thing. Before that, strategy was Mas Golpes way. Like, that was how I was retired. There's more strategy than just that. So it reminds me of that old guy.
So I didn't like that trainer because I was like, dude, this guy talks too much shit, Right. But he was a cool cat, but he just, he would tell my cousin, I think the best thing, like the best, like the word he was known for, he was like, pegas como maricón, like that was his thing. So then I went with Shark to beat my friend up. So we got in the ring, bro. My first time sparring, I got in the ring. He never came back.
Oh shit!
He never came back.
But you saw him at other places, right?
Well, at school.
Yeah.
And then
did you ever?
I told him, I was like, dude, what's up? Like, what's popping? He was like, fuck that. You got lucky. Well, what's up? You gonna go back? Nah, it's not for me. I'll fuck you up in a street fight. That was just always his motto. Like, I'm not a street fighter, so I'm not gonna pursue that route. But he's lucky I didn't, because I think I still would have messed him up. But he was a bigger guy. He was bigger, so he just.
My friend got.
Luckily, you had the venue though. The gym to do that.
I had a friend.
I just seen him like a year ago, Motherfucker looked like a balloon.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I've seen him look like a balloon.
I had a friend that got 2 strikes for home invasion robbery, and he goes to jail. You know, I think he's away for like not too long, but like 3 years. He's away for long enough. But when he gets out, he's like, you know, he's a black guy, so I always joke that every black guy thinks that they can box, like whether they box or not. Like they just think they naturally can do it. So he's like, oh, I want to get in the ring with you. And I'm looking at him. I'll be honest, when he went in jail, he came out. He grew a couple inches. He was all cut up. He could like dunk a basketball all of a sudden. He could play chess. Like he was like a newer, improved version of himself, right? So he came to the gym and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna move around with you, yada yada yada. And I was like, kind of like, okay, well, I don't know, because he's bigger, he was a southpaw, he's longer. Like I was like, man, I might get fucked up. But I went out there and like you feel like someone's bad intentions,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately I just was like, no, it's not gonna be me. Like so I took off on him, and I'll never forget it. He spit out the mouth guard and rips out the headgear, and he goes, "This isn't for me."
No, yeah, it's happened.
And in my head, I'm like thinking, because
That's honesty.
well, but I'm thinking, damn, dude, you just got out of prison, and in my mind, it's built up like he's a prisoner, and like he's probably been in some shit. Like,
I mean, I've read a book. It's on a gang member. He was from the Valley.
Yeah.
Donald Garcia. Rest in peace, Donald Garcia. It was a very inspiring book, and apparently like he was in and out of prison, and that was like the only times he was sober was when he was in prison, something like that. And he learned boxing in prison. He became a champion, like the prison champ.
Yeah.
And he came out. He started like helping gang members, like kind of like detach himself from it. It was a good book. So that's all I know about like people in prison.
What's the name of the
book?
man?
Donald Garcia.
Donald Garcia.
Donald Garcia, and they used to call him Big D. He's known as Big D because he was working for a nonprofit with someone else that actually is a known kickboxer champion. Him and his wife started a nonprofit in the Valley. Can't think of his name, but I've talked to him on the phone. I might actually have his.
Look it up later, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I might have his.
Interested to read that book.
Yeah, so he's still around, and he's still a gang interventionist or intervention leader or whatever. And I mean, boxing, bro. I think it's for the poor, if you really ask me, because it's like in every poor community.
Yeah.
But I also think it's more of an art, and I don't think we see the art in it. I see it now. That's why I could admire Lomachenko. I can admire Floyd Mayweather. I can admire
Canelo,
Canelo now. Yeah. You know, because see, that's one thing about people, right? Always keep it real with yourself. Lara beat him, hands down.
Oh yeah, it's Lara.
Lara beat him. Yeah. I love that fight. That was a badass fight. I love watching Lara. Why the hell they put his brother against Lara last week? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if it's Lara would beat him now though.
No, because he has more boxing skills.
Yeah.
But
Canelo can do it all.
Yeah, now he can.
Yeah, but he couldn't. He couldn't when he fought him.
But see, that's the thing. So
remember, there was talks about Leo fighting Rigondeaux too.
Why is it not happening?
I was with some of Leo's people.
Oh, why did it not happen?
When I was sitting next to some of Leo's people when Lara fought Canelo, and they had asked me. They said, "What do you think about Leo fighting Rigondeaux?" I said, "Don't do it."
No, it's not a good look.
I said, "Not a good look." I said, "He's gonna box him. He's gonna box his
ass." And Rigondeaux benefited more off the fight than Leo did.
And I said, just don't. It's not a good look. The thing you really said. This is before the bout had happened, and I said, "Watch how this fight plays out." I go, one person's coming in to like neutralize the other person and just steal shots, be very defensive minded, and the other person is offense. I said, one of them's clearly going to be the winner. They're like, "You really think Lara's going to win?" I said, "Yeah, but they'll probably get the fight to Canelo." Like, I'm literally saying this before the.
Oh yeah, and then when they were reading the scorecards.
Yeah.
I always tell my dad, like, watch this.
It's a business though.
Watch this.
You know.
When what was the fight that just got a draw? The Fury Wilder. I called it. I said, if they go 12 rounds and Fury wins it clearly, it's gonna be a draw, no matter what. And then, man,
Tyson Fury won that fight.
Dude, he's badass.
He can box. Although
last night
he got touched. That's how he got touched.
Yeah.
He had a big cut, bro. So 2 cuts, I think.
Yeah.
It's something too with these guys when you know, if they have a rough night, like we can't be too judgmental on them.
Look at Anthony Joshua. He said, after this fight, I'm taking easy. I'm gonna get a few easy fights. But at least he's keeping it real. Yeah. I hate when
people aren't in those positions.
Well, see
imagine you got to fight for your next decade, right?
Okay. Well, see, this is where I go.
One after hard.
This is where I go to my career, right? So I never thought about the pros. I never. So boxing, I thought it started in Lincoln Heights. Like for me, it didn't. I these 5 years, I thought about it, and it started with my dad. Right. My dad used to fucking cry when Chavez lost.
When he lost, when he should have lost Bernell Whitaker.
Well, he should have, but didn't they stop it in the?
No.
That's not the one where he won in the 12th round. There was another one where he was losing, and then he knocked the guy out in the 12th round.
Taylor.
Okay. That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
So I remember,
which is a good stoppage.
And I don't know if we watched it live, but my dad had this thing of recording a VHS. Yeah. So then he would it was a weekend, and he would find a reason to drink with his friends or whatever. Come over, we're gonna watch the fights. I remember Butterbean, Maromero Paez. I remember Camacho. I used to like Camacho.
Of course.
I used to like it, bro.
He used to come out
he used to come and dance.
Yeah. And he was slick as hell. I mean,
dude, he was badass. Yeah. And my dad used to hate that my dad hated anybody that fought Chavez.
He had that sort of thing about him. He would come out with a gas mask and
dude,
he did the backflip and
So I remember those days, and I think that's what started me into boxing. That did start me into boxing.
So much character, it seemed like.
Butterbean, just Butterbean himself, bro. He would come out knocking guys out.
I remember when Tyson fought. I watched Tyson fight Buster Douglas.
What year was that?
Man, it had to be 80. No, 90, 91.
See, I watched all those fights, but I think it was through ESPN
replays
or whatever, because my dad was boxing hardcore. So then the fight I do remember was when he lost to De La Hoya. My dad cried, bro. He cried.
When Chavez lost to De La Hoya. Yeah. I was at Cal State LA that night with my friend was going to Cal State LA, and we watched that fight, and it was
it was brutal, bro.
People were just
people stopped liking De La Hoya.
People was almost like someone got killed. I was like, man. And I was saying to them, hey, listen, you gotta understand, this is just a young guy. This is a passing of the guard. It's a new era of a fighter. And they're just can't expect fucking Chavez to keep going.
I think, so that kind of started me off without me even knowing, right? Yeah. That started me off, and then my dad had this passion for it, and he hated that anybody liked any other all the women loved De La Hoya. Probably my mom even loved him at that time. My mom was probably looking at him I wouldn't be surprised. He was
on all the girl. Remember, he used to be on all the girl magazines.
Yeah, dude.
In the grocery store. Remember the chicks were I think they were flashing them.
Dude,
the towel had dropped when they were weighing them in, and everybody had gone crazy. You know about this?
I don't think
De La Hoya was De La Hoya is the only fighter ever in history that sold more tickets to women for one of his fights than men. Think about that.
So, I mean, it's crazy. I never understood all that. I was too little. Yeah. But so now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, it's always been my dad. So then I started going to the gym. My dad loved me 100 times more. And then I stayed there. I actually went with it. So then my first fight was in Glendale, right?
How old were you first time you fight?
I was 12.
Okay.
It was 6 months into the gym. I thought I was ready. My coach thought I was ready. And I was a little chubby, short kid. I was weighing 132. I went down from 150 to 132 in the gym. And I fought this guy from Baldwin Park. Straight cholo, straight little, his coach was his stepdad or his dad, and he was even gang banging. He was just all tatted up. So I get in the ring. I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared. I was just whatever, Dude, he stopped me in the first round. He stopped me.
That's so similar to my first experience. I was boxing for a couple of months. Had no idea. We did AYSO. We thought you sign up in August and you're playing a game in September. It's different in boxing. We go in after a couple of months. We go to my first fight, get knocked out in the first round. At 12 years old, same idea.
So, I mean, my dad was just so that day, I remember that day clearly. My dad was just don't worry, son. Maybe it's not for you. And I still had the little pretty boy haircut, hair. And I was like, you know what? No, this is not gonna happen. Dude, I went for my fight. That same moment, we get to because we were living with my godfather at that moment. I went to the barber shop, got a fade, cut my hair, got a fade. And it was funny because with the hair, it was like everything went.
Did you change your attire too?
Like, yeah. Like I
started wearing Cortezes and...
No. I started because my mom would buy me like Dickies. Like I had a uniform. I had to wear a uniform. I bought the solo pants. The solo pants, they were baggy. I was just like, I felt like I was looking like the majority of the kids now, right? So then I cut my hair like a fade and I went back to the gym. I thought it was like badass. I started training harder. My second fight, it was Santa Ana with
TKO or something.
TKO. Mm-hmm. I beat the guy. I didn't knock him out. I think my first knockout in the amateurs came like at my 15th fight, maybe, like when I was already open. And it was a guy from, it was in Hawaii Gardens. And funny story, my dad was drunk out of his mind and he went to the fight. Right? My dad used to love fucking, anything my dad loved was just driving to my fights and seeing me beat somebody up. And so my dad says, if you knock this guy out, I'll give you $100. I was like, dude, I haven't knocked anybody out in 15 fights. I'm not gonna knock him out. This dude was tall. He was from Hawaii Gardens. So I go in there, bro, and I just went in there and I threw a 1-2. And I remember clearly that I threw the hook with my eyes closed because I seen his hook coming. And I threw it and I hit him. And when I opened my eyes, he was on the floor. Dude, he didn't get up. He fell ass.
This was in the opening of the first round, or
yeah, I just went straight at him.
Your first sequence was this combination.
Yeah, but that was my coach would always say. Going into the fight, go in and pull out if you're not ready to throw, or go in straight to the body, left hook to the head. That was my coach's like signature thing. Start off one of those 3 rounds like that, and the other rounds, I mean, don't do the same thing, right? So then my thing, I did that. I just hit the body, and then I went hook, and then I went 1-2, and I closed the guy. Seen his punch coming. He was on the floor, and they count him out. My dad comes in the ring. He throws $100. Yeah. So then
right in front of the LBC.
Dude, he throws $100, and then like the
you just lost your amateur status that day.
The referee gets the money and gives it back to him, and they were gonna suspend me. They were gonna suspend me.
They don't like that kind of activity.
They were gonna suspend me, dude. The USA Boxing was gonna suspend me.
There was a time when amateur boxing was in trouble because there were some smokers that were going on, and this was mid 2000s, mid 2000s. So it could have been around that time. There was eyeballs on the organization because there were smokers, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, is a unsanctioned show. Smokers with young boxers that they were doing betting on. And there was a period of time where actually California State Athletic Commission, I think, had like shut down all amateur shows, and they'd even shut down our
people bet in the shows still.
I would never bet in an amateur show because
doing it out.
I think it's the most corrupt.
Is a little bit high key.
To be honest with you, so the 2012, the funnest part about going to nationals is talking to the other coaches from other cities and betting each other.
Well,
I bet.
My little brother.
It's like you're not betting. Like you might be like, I'll bet you dinner. I'll bet you,
Yeah.
My little brother boxed.
Throwing $100 bill at a 12-year-old is a little bit more of a red flag.
I was 14. I think I was like 14.
But you know that you're not the first kid to have $100 probably thrown at him in the ring.
But I mean, my dad was just drunk, so I think that his actions were like so. My dad is just
when you're young too, like anything, especially like anything your parents do. Like some shit like that, you're like, damn, fucking chill the fuck out.
I mean, I was happy. I was like, dude, am I getting $100? Like,
but like, did you end up taking it?
Yeah, no, he gave it to me. He
didn't think about. He didn't.
Well, I was scared because I was like, dude, they gave him back to him. He's not gonna give him to me now. Yeah. But yeah, he gave him to me.
Yeah.
But so there was like multiple occasions with my dad being involved that me and my brother had this thing. My brother boxed. He was a lefty. My brother was badass, but he just didn't
like it this sport.
He didn't have
the discipline, or he
didn't like to get hit. Yeah. So I think if he would have went with it, he would have learned not to get hit, but our coach at that time didn't really practice like defense with us. My brother had like 3 fights in, and he won 2 and lost his first one, something like that. But there was another what was it? It was in Maywood. There was another event in Maywood. It was the Junior Olympics. Junior Olympics. It was my last one because I was trying to turn, I don't know if it was 15.
Was it 2010 or something?
I think it was the next year. I couldn't participate in it anymore. So then I win the districts in Maywood. I fought all 3 or 4 days. So then the regionals come a month later or 2 weeks later, and I'm fighting this guy from it was either Hawaii or I think it might have been San Diego. Dude, I beat him. Like, I clearly beat him, and the guy was just like, he was all sad, like, oh, you know, like, and I'm just like, yeah, come on, I'm going to the nationals, like, you know. And then the winner in the blue corner, and the referee even raises my hand, but I was red corner, and they raised my hand, and I'm blue corner, and the guy was like, yeah. Dude, I broke down crying so bad, and I get out of the ring, and my dad's like, what the fuck are you doing? Because I had a little trophy, because they gave me the trophy. They didn't give him anything because he had advanced to nationals. My dad's like, what the fuck are you doing? Break that fucking trophy. Yeah. And I was just like, but Dad, break it. And I was just like, okay. I didn't even try to break it. I just like threw it down, but it broke like the glove of the. And then I don't know if you remember Spanky. He was like the announcer. My dad was like, Spanky, you robbed my son. I'm gonna fuck you up. And then we're like, after, my dad's like, damn, I talked shit to that guy. That guy was the announcer. He wasn't even the judge.
It's all kind of, I mean, shit, you know.
Another thing I don't respect, I get it, you want to be involved in your kid's sport. I don't respect the parents that get into being officials because I feel like they cut them some slack.
They got a bias for sure. Yeah.
I remember this fight with Vanes. It was at the Golden Glass.
Yeah.
Vanes,
Vanes in the Golden Glass?
No, I didn't fight. Vanes was older. But we looked up to Vanes.
Too, right?
Yeah, he's older. He's bigger.
147.
But he used to bring the Armenian community.
He brought like 200 people.
He used to bring the Lincoln Park parking lot used to be full of like Mercedes, BMWs, Jaguars. Like, dude, they were coming deep. So I don't know who the USA boxing president was at that time. It wasn't
Joe Zanders?
No, it wasn't him. It was the one before him. He had a son. They used to call him Nassim because he looked like Nassim. So, dude, Vanes would beat his ass with everything in the kitchen sink, and they would always give it to the guy. It was like multiple years. I think Vanes even like, if I'm correct, Vanes was like, I'm not even fighting this tournament no more because as long as that guy's in it, I'm not winning.
That kind of shit still goes on, though.
For anyone listening to stories about Vanes, is it Mathieusen?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
He fought us already.
He had a great career, plenty of information to look him up. He represented U.S. in the Olympics, is that right? And then had a good pro career and trained in wild card with Fred Roach and things.
He's still fighting, although I don't know. I saw him recently. He was out of shape, but
I don't know. But that's a person that we looked up to.
Triple G last?
Yeah, and
he was a replacement.
That was a bum fight.
Yeah, but he still came with his balls, though. He tried.
But I mean, see, I don't respect people.
It's retirement phase kind of fight.
I mean, I don't respect people quit. I went out of my back my last fight, and that's what I respect because people pay to go see a fight, right? And let's start with my loss, right? My first pro loss. I was ready for Dwayne. My first fight back. They gave me these 3 opponents, right? They said Dwayne. They said some guy who was 1-10 that Dwayne beat, I think when he was part of the OC Fight Club thing. And then they offered me another guy who was like 2-12. My mentality was like, yo, Roy, I can't fight these bums. I'm going to sell 50, because Roy has this thing, you need to sell tickets, right?
Yeah, no matter what, you got to sell tickets.
So I saw.
If you don't sell tickets, you're going to be the opponent.
I saw 100 tickets, right? My first fight. He gives me 100 tickets, $50 a pop. I say, if I pick this opponent and people buy tickets and come all the way from LA to see me fight this bum, they're not going to buy tickets for my second fight.
But they don't know any better. You're giving people too much credit.
I get it, but that's what I was thinking, right? So then I say, no, I want Dwayne, right? And I knew he was He was part of the OC. I knew he could pull in some people.
Dwayne had too. I mean, as even looking at Dwayne's career, probably if he would have had a little bit more direction and guidance, he would have been.
There's a lot of us like that.
It's a time and a place for everything. I remember your fight because I thought, like I said, I thought you were winning.
I tried,
and then it just it happened, and like you got caught with a good shot.
Well,
also, if I remember it, you were. I was thinking to myself like, you didn't know when to like put your gas when to slam down on the gas pedal, and then when to ease the fucking.
Yeah, I don't know that.
You were just like literally.
I'm the type that's gonna.
I was like, man, you're walking.
Kill or be killed.
Walking this dude down, and you're doing what you want to do. You're being very physical. Then he starts to get slippery, and instead of kind of just letting him reset and feign him out a couple different times, and make him think that you're boxing again, pretend like you're boxing.
I didn't know that.
Then
I know that now, and that's funny, right? I've learned more about boxing these last few years that I haven't been boxing than I ever learned in my 15 years. Yeah. So another thing, right? My old coach Mando was in his corner.
Yeah.
Who knew me better than Mando?
Mando was in the corner.
Mando was in his corner.
Back in Maywood.
But he was working with cuts.
It don't matter.
With Bruce or something.
He was probably working the cuts, but Dwayne was training in Maywood. Yeah. And if you're training in Maywood, Mando helps you if you're training in Maywood. You know, you're an opponent. Yeah, if you're not in Maywood,
you're not Maywood. It's
you're
like
not Maywood.
That with me too.
No,
even in my own gym, boxing can be so competitive. Like we can have both the people in the same gym sparring each other. At that time, if I'm with red corner, I don't give a fuck who's the blue corner.
You're trying to teach them.
Red corner's winning. I don't care if that's a dude that I walk and get a cup of noodles with every day. If I'm in red corner and blue corner, it's just at that moment it's very black and white. And
so with that, like I picked Dwayne, right? So I was set to fight December 2nd. Mm-hmm. Dwayne wasn't ready. Yeah. He thought he was ready. He thought I wasn't gonna pick him. He thought he was gonna, cause I have respect for him. Yeah, I did talk shit. We're supposed to. Absolutely. I'm not supposed to like you. You're not my friend. When I signed the contract, like anything else, with love comes hate. Yeah. I felt it. I'm in the OC. Yeah. I'm with a bunch of guys who just seen me get signed by Roy, and they're like, "What the fuck? Like, Roy signed this chump?" I'm not a chump, but so then Paul Velarde, which I know you know him, he comes up to me when I signed the contract. And he was drunk. He knows he was. And he tells me, "You ranked it. You didn't want to fight me back in the days," which was like a year when I was in my first.
Paul said that to you?
Which, okay, they did offer me the fight.
Right.
Respect. But they offered it to me
Paul was much older than you though, right? Because
much experience. Yeah. And then Mando, I was training with Mando at that time. Mando was like, "No."
And I'm like, place. I was like, you're supposed to see Paul around the 8th fight.
So then I told Mando, Mando, fuck that. Yeah. I want that fight. So
I don't know Paul. Is he like kind of a gatekeeper in the scene or what?
Paul Velarde, there's a couple two dudes come to mind from Orange County.
He's the one that beat
Paul Velarde's one of them.
Woman.
Yeah.
He beat Woman. Yeah. He knocked out Woman, I think. Yeah. You know who Woman is? He trains with Freddie Roach.
Oh, I thought you said
Zachary Woman.
I thought you said a Woman.
Zach Woman.
Oh, Zach Woman.
He beat Paul Velarde. They beat.
Yeah.
So then he comes up to me and he tells me, and I'm like, dude.
But Paul too, not to say anything about Paul, but
he's a good guy. I love Paul.
He's also, unfortunately, had bad people around him. That's because he's fucking doing something stupid. Because had he been managed right,
dude, he's badass.
He would have been could have been 15-0, could have been 18-0, but because he's not managed right.
He took the wrong fight.
He's taking a lot of difficult fights, and he's not gonna. We know who Paul Velarde is because we're Southern California guys. But the country doesn't know who Paul Velarde is. Had Paul Velarde been managed right, good-looking kid, tall, whatever, he could have got to 15-0, could have gotten 18-0. There's a time and place for everything. Didn't have his career handled like that. Roy's not going to handle a career like that.
Yeah, he's not that kind of promoter.
Anytime I tell anybody, Roy had signed one of my fighters, and I remember getting pissed off because I said, and that's the one time he got a draw. I actually think he fought the night that you did. That's why I was there, but I can't remember because.
Was it with Avery?
No, not
Avery. No, Avery. No. Hold on.
Reese. His name was Reese Bennett. He fought an older guy.
Reese Bennett.
White guy that was like a.
No, the one that I remember that was a draw that was really controversial was Flores.
Yeah.
Flores. He lost, and he lost.
From Wildcard, right?
No. Flores, the heavyweight.
Oh shit.
The one that just fought. The guy from Australia or whatever.
Yeah. Lipinau. Yeah, I think it's not with an L.
No. He was managed by Roy. He was managed by Roy.
He was from Orange County too. Flores was.
Yeah, Flores.
Yeah.
So then, I talked to Paul and I told him, and then I took the fight with Dwayne. So I was like, that's it. December 2nd is on. So then Roy comes back at me with, Dwayne's not ready, blah blah blah. But you'll fight him for your second fight. I was like, all right, cool. So they find me a last minute kind of replacement, but the guy was pretty good. So then as I'm getting ready for my December 2nd fight against this guy that I don't even know, because we couldn't find no video on him, we couldn't find anything. Dwayne is getting ready for our fight in February.
Shit.
You see what I'm saying? So I have a month to get ready for my December 2nd fight, and then with the holidays, Dwayne was getting ready for. So Dwayne is at my fight December 2nd, looking at me, studying me. He's seen me.
I'm seeing Dwayne in camp. So I got a fighter in camp, and we're using Dwayne as sparring all the time. And then
same time or
a couple times, yeah. We use Dwayne and his brother. I can't remember his brother's name or half brother. And then, but no.
What's Dwayne's last name? If anyone wants to look.
Dwayne Victorian.
Victorian, that's right.
So you look at it.
I remember him from the amateurs.
Yeah, he's a lot of my guy is sparring Shane Mosley Jr. He's sparring Shane Mosley Jr. My guy's also sparring Malcolm McAllister. He's sparring Malcolm. He's also sparring up big time on weight. A lot of times bigger guys. And then there's the guy from Compton. I can't remember his name right now. But
Brandon Adams.
Yeah,
Brandon the Cannon.
Yeah. But they're all sparring with each other at the same time. And yeah, I remember thinking.
Well, see that was the problem when I finished my December 4 hard rounds. Right, December 2nd. They throw money. I'm hurt, bro. That night, I went to sleep around 12, 11, right? Went to wait. I did not wake up till the next day at 4 p.m. From the beating. My wife was literally like waking me up because she was scared. She thought I was dead from all the punishment. I couldn't wake up. She was like, wake up, wake up, wake up. I couldn't wake up, bro. I woke up at 4 and I was like, oh shit, it's time to go to work. She's like, it's 4 p.m. I was like, 4 p.m.? I slept like what is it, like almost 18 hours? It was crazy. No, 12, 16, 17 hours. So then I take a week, my coach is like, take a week off, So I take a week off. Mid-December, go back to the gym, right? Nobody's at the gym for sparring.
Especially the holiday season.
So then finally I get this guy, I can't remember his name, he's a big guy. He was like a heavyweight, but he was a little crafty guy. He was from OC, his dad would bring him to the gym. I start sparring him, getting ready for the Dwayne fight, January 12th, January 13th, right? So I have 1 week of sparring, right?
Oh shit, before the bout.
Before the fight. And then the week of the fight, my coach was like, there's this guy right here, he's smaller, let's just get him for sparring, right? So I fight on Thursday, right? I'm sparring Monday while losing weight, right? Nothing against my coach. Pablo Rubio, he was badass to me. He was cool.
Just not a good look though.
I shouldn't have been sparring, right?
Yeah,
so then
when you're draining yourself.
I land this overhand right on this Armenian guy, right? And I landed it so clean that when I landed, it like my wrist kind of fucked up. So I still have like a bump right here. Look.
Yeah.
From that, right?
Regardless.
So then my hand just fucking swelled up, and I was like, fuck, man. I had already sold tickets, 100 tickets, right? Yeah. My ego, right? Yeah. Oh no, dude, I can't rank it against Dwayne. No,
Especially after that whole.
So what do? I go to the fight, and the doctor checks me, and he touches my hand. You okay? Everything good? And I was just like, oh yeah, everything's good. So then that day of the fight, Thursday morning, I go to a doctor in East LA and I get a cortisone shot.
Yeah, how did that? Yeah, which is so many people do it, but it's also.
I shouldn't have done that, bro. Yeah. It felt like when we were warming up for the Dwayne fight.
Couldn't feel your hand.
Dude, I was like, this hand feels like it's gonna. It didn't hurt, but it didn't feel right. Like I would.
It didn't feel attached to you. Like
it felt like it was gonna break. It was gonna break with no pain. That's how it felt.
You never had a cortisone shot, bro?
Dude, it felt like it was gonna break.
Every time I got offered shots in East LA, I passed.
So if you look at the video with Dwayne, I wasn't really throwing rights. I was throwing like body rights because that was the only punch that didn't hurt. Like just body shot. So I would throw the jab, body right, left hook, but I wasn't throwing any straight rights because I was scared. So
And that's how it had been a straight right that had.
I mean, I just thought, I just thought like
this one felt safer to go up.
Dwayne didn't take that momentum though. I mean, I thought that he would have put himself in a good position after.
I mean, he and see, that's the thing. Like I decided
it's about having the wrong people around you too. I mean, not to say that Bruce is the wrong people, but like you got young fighters.
Shout outs to Roy. He gave me the opportunity. Yeah. But
Roy said, that's what I said to anybody. And I was at a Roy show a couple weeks ago. I watched Malcolm McAllister fight Rowdy. What's Rowdy's last name? You remember?
I don't remember.
Montgomery. Yeah. So, but the same thing is like you got a fighter that. First of all, I don't think anybody does a better boxing show in Southern California than Roy.
Of course.
A local show.
Yeah.
I mean, even this is a great product that he puts together. Although the Bash brothers, Steve Bash comes close. So I'll talk about this.
The Bash shows. Yeah.
I say this and but he hasn't made anybody. I mean, he's not looking at.
He's not that kind of promoter. That's not his.
He wants you to sell 100 tickets.
I didn't see.
Yeah. And you might be the people. So many egos get involved in sports in boxing because it's like it ends up being like I'll put my guy against your guy.
Well, I should have known because I dealt with Golden Boy for my first 5 fights.
Yeah.
Right? I dealt with Golden Boy. I should have known, but you're young. You're just trying to become somebody. So then after the fight, right? Roy didn't. I didn't see Roy no more. I never seen him. We heard from him a month later where he emailed my manager and he told him, hey, cancel Christmas. Contract's canceled. But check it out. I have this new guy that I'm bringing up, Ruslan Madivi. He's with the Triple G.
Yeah.
I remember. And offer Luis $3,000 to fight him.
Abel was with.
Wait,
and
I was like, name? Ruslan what?
Madi.
Yeah, they fought him a couple times.
He fought Pablo Cesar Cano and Cano beat him this last fight.
So then he was clipping people and his way up a lot.
Yeah. So
or Kazakhstan too, right?
Yeah. So then my manager was like, no, and I was like, nah, let's do it. No, he's like, now you're just gonna be an opponent, and he's paying you 3 times what he paid you.
Yeah, that's a signal there.
And then my manager was like, yo, like he never checked up on you.
Yeah,
he didn't.
So for the audience to know how it works, is a lot of times on these shows, managers are buying that spot.
Yeah,
the managers are making an investment. So like you said, if you had to sell 100 tickets at $50 a piece, right?
I mean, I was paying myself. If you really think about it, I was paying. I paid myself and I paid Dwayne.
Right.
You know?
And so you're looking at the amount of money that you generate, and let alone if someone gets like a table or something.
And that's what led to me pushing myself away, right? So then, also,
but if you don't know this,
sometimes you only actually make money as the opponent.
If you don't know this in boxing, because you're brand new to it, which a lot of people don't know. Like I'm not, I feel like we've gone in enough on Roy, but so we might as well keep going. I've had text messages from the matchmaker, and I've showed you some of these text messages, right? That are just like, hey, I need to give me an opponent that has little to no experience. Like it's like they're basically saying. And
I get it. It's a business.
The fans are naive to it. And
I get it. It's a business.
Keep it that way.
But it's
So then. In the fight, right? I just thought like Dwayne is gonna gas out because he always gasses out.
Mm-hmm. He gasses out.
He gasses out. Yeah. He gasses out. Look at his ass. He just fought 2 weeks ago or a month ago. I seen the fight live. He gasses out.
What's his record now? I didn't even know.
I don't even know. Well, he didn't fight for a while, but so then I'm in the ring and boom, I get knocked down. I get knocked down in the first round. I was winning the round and I get knocked down, right? The end of the round. So I go back in and my corner's like, dude. And I'm like, I knocked out in like 10 seconds before the round ended. Right. So then the bell rings and they're still counting, right? Yeah. So I go back to the corner and my first words to my coach, fuck this motherfucker. I'm gonna go back in there. Yeah. It's my turn. My coach said, no, chill. Like, no, I'm not listening. Like, ego. So I go back in there and what do? The same thing I was doing in the first round. He timed me, bro. And I know he seen my first fight at the OC. I was doing the same thing. So he was training to land that uppercut. Because if you look at all his fights, he doesn't throw that uppercut. Yeah. He only threw it with me.
He landed an uppercut in the corner. Is that where it was? Like he was swinging out to the corner towards the back wall.
And he and I watched that video over and over again. Yeah. He threw that uppercut maybe like 10 times before he caught me with it.
I didn't realize I didn't realize he got dropped in the first. I might have
Yeah. So then when I get dropped in the second one, unfortunately, bro, I tried to get back up. I couldn't. I was looking at myself in the big screen, and I could only see myself moving my neck. Like my body was just like glued to the floor. And then Jack Reese just waved it off, right? And that's another thing that I've had an honor of having referees. I had Jack Reese, and I had also the UFC guy, McCarthy.
Yeah.
I had him on my third and fourth fight.
Yeah, he does the OC show. I think he was there that night that
he didn't do. He did mine in the Fantasy Springs.
Yeah, he does a lot of shows.
So then,
Big John McCartney. McCarthy.
After that, I kind of lost love. Like, nobody but my family checked up on me the next day. Nobody.
Yeah, that's great.
Nobody but my family, literally. And just to add it on to it, the next day is when I checked myself into jail. I told the judge, please, I have a fight. Can I please check in the day after my fight? So I checked. So Friday morning comes.
This was for that same DUI you talked about earlier?
Yeah, for the driving without a license.
Okay.
With a suspended license. So then everything took a toll on me, bro. Having to go to jail the next day. My hand messed up. Tickets, all my fans. Like, they weren't going to get refunded.
Yeah.
You know? So the next morning, my dad takes me to breakfast before he drops me off in the county. And he told me, my dad never had gave me a beer before that. He buys me a beer early in the morning breakfast. He's like, you know what, son, I love you. I care about you a lot. And I think it's time to hang him up. You're a smart kid. You have school. You're about to finish school. You're working for the mayor. You're not making no money. So he's like, look, think about it. All the time you put into the gym, all the time that you spar, all the running.
Yeah, all that shit.
Divide it. We're making pennies, if anything. Yeah. And you know what? I respect my dad for that. I love my dad.
That's keeping it real.
That's
so
important.
That wasn't the end, right? I thought it was, and then I was like, no, you know, I still
By the time we sparred, that was a little bit of a thinking about a comeback.
We sparred, and then I went with Saravia. That's when I went with Saravia and Pico Rivera. Shout out to Saravia. He was one of the best coaches I had.
Dude.
Oh, one of the best coaches. I feel like if you're not.
You've been to Saravia's gym in Pico Rivera? It's like this back house.
I've heard about it.
The thing about him,
it's a great gym.
The thing about him, I seriously know, because dude, he got me ready in a month. I was cut up. We were ready, so we signed the fight to fight Bilal Mahasin from up north, right? Dwayne fought him. And got a draw with him. We signed it, and then if you are in Saravia's gym and you're his boxer, the only reason why you're not good is because you're lazy. That's it. Because he has like everything. He has the skills. He works. He doesn't tell you to get hit. He tells you not to get hit. When to throw. He's in your corner. He's actually, if you listen to him, he's actually telling you the game plan. And if you follow through, you'll win. There's no other. But all the boxers that he's had, unfortunately, are lazy, and I've seen it firsthand. There was a boxer that he had there, right, that I trained with, and I helped him out, right? And shout outs to him, you know, Julian Ramirez, you know?
Oh yeah.
And
the shrimp, right?
I helped him, bro.
Yeah.
I helped him, and you know, he talked shit. I sucked. That I was a bad boxer. Had no skill. He's skillful compared to him.
He was with Victor Hernandez.
Compared to him, I'm not as good as him. I admit, I'm not as good as him, you know? And I think he's related to Chicanito.
He's a nephew of Chicanito.
So, props to him, you know? But he talks shit about me. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, you don't got to do that, you know what I'm saying? But that's cool. But what I do have to say to him is that I might have not been the best boxer, but I always made weight. And a lot of these guys, they don't make weight. How do you not make weight when all you do is box?
He's not boxing anymore, right?
No.
I haven't seen him fight in a while.
No, he got robbed. He got robbed against Lopez. Or Abraham, AB.
You think he got robbed that fight?
Yeah, he got robbed. AB didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
I thought it was a contested fight, but I don't know.
No,
I was there.
But I just remember that there was a little bit of a buzz, and then it was just gone. So.
No, yeah, he got robbed. I thought he got robbed.
They had him on ESPN.
But he didn't make weight, so he wasn't gonna win the belt. So at the end of the day, it didn't matter. you know, I always made weight, and that's the thing I don't get. These guys, they don't have a job. They're not working full time like me. They're not going to school.
And they're not making weight.
And they're not making weight, dude. I for a lot of years in my boxing career, I was wishing that a promoter would sign me so I could stop working at full. But now that I'm older, it was a blessing that they didn't sign me, dude. It was a blessing. Golden Boy told me after this fight, 5 fights in, and they still weren't signing me. I was like, dude, what's going on? So I heard through some people that they wanted me to like focus 150% on boxing, like pretty much what I
can't. All the chicken and egg problems.
Like,
don't sign me. I can't do that.
I was like, I got child support to pay. I have a son. Yeah. I have bills. I'm not. Yeah, I got rent, right? Mm-hmm. So that I was just like, it didn't make sense. So then through we were gonna fight with Bilal in up north, and a month before the fight, my dad was just like, dude, really? Like, we just talked about this, and I was like, you know what? Forget it. It's my heart's not in it, bro.
You can't go. You shouldn't fight if your heart's not.
My heart's not in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So then, I don't know. I mean, I feel that my biggest mistake was going pro. If I would have stayed amateur, I'd still be boxing right now. I'd literally still be boxing right now. But you can't go back to the amateurs, you know?
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but I always wanted to become a firefighter, right? That was another thing I wanted to become. But I never really focused on it. It was just seemed like a goal that was very far from becoming real. So I said, I'm gonna quit boxing officially, and I'm gonna put all this energy into becoming a firefighter. So I've been in the process for 4 years now, and I mean, I'm getting a step closer to it. And I feel like there's a lot that the pros and boxing in general taught me that I could carry on into the fire department. You know, courage, strength, you know, mental strength, discipline, you know, and they have LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department, they have a motto. It says, train as if your life depends on it, because it really does.
That's what boxing is.
And that's what boxing is, bro. So I feel like everything just plays out. The puzzle just plays out itself, you know? And those last 2 fights, if I wouldn't have came back with Roy, right? I would have retired undefeated, right? Mm-hmm. But I would have been like, what if? Right. What if? You know, you get, you know, that itch.
You don't test
dude,
yourself. You wouldn't have.
I hit a bag. I know I have it. We're always gonna have it. You hit a bag, you have it. But that doesn't mean you have it in the pro ring.
Not at the top.
You know.
Not to be.
But we're always gonna have it. That's just it's like muscle memory. So I know I'm always gonna have it, but I'm not gonna go back, bro. I'm not gonna go back. There's nothing there for me. There's nothing there for me, and I really think people need to know when to retire, because that's a big problem. Look at Mayorga, he's still fighting.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, sad, bro. In Nicaragua for
I admire that from you, because actually I do remember, and Trevor, I don't think I've ever told you this, when I took a loss and got knocked out at a Roy show.
He reached out?
I was there.
You were the one who...
I was talking to
you were there, that's right. I didn't see that night. But a couple days later, you emailed me and, you know, gave me, when no one had done that for you, you said only your family did that. People don't typically do that because they're shy or whatever. This guy, and I hadn't really kind of brought back that memory of that story. And I probably could find the email, but you gave me some good advice. You know, you talked about how, you know, the feeling you felt when you had, you know, got knocked out, and consider, like, you really should take some time to consider this if you want to keep doing this, and it was a really, you know, good message to read, and I appreciate that. And, you know, to be honest, I did think about it for a long time, and you know, it's been a couple of years since I had that fight, but it was definitely, you know, an important lesson to think about before coming back.
Sure you've looked at the box track of the guy that beat you. He hasn't fought since.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What's up? Yeah.
That's crazy, and that happens all the time, bro. I just see people just stop boxing. It's not for everybody, bro.
No, it's worse than the world. Small percentage of people that make it.
So the opportunity with Roy came up because I took an 8-rounder fight from never moving out of 4 rounds with Jaime Segueda. He's from East LA, and he didn't want the fight, bro. And then Roy was like, yo, he offered me another fight, and I took it, another 8-rounder. Dude, I was gonna get paid good money. I was happy, and then the guy didn't want me to fight. They're like, dude, nobody wants to fight you. He's like, can I sign you? And I was like, sure, even better. So that's how the Roy thing came about. But I had a good fights with Golden Boy. I fought at the Club Nokia twice.
Yeah.
And then I fought at the Fantasy Springs. And then I fought at the Hangar, at the OC Hangar.
That's when they were...
No, the Phoenix Club.
Oh, the Phoenix Club.
Phoenix Club. So I had a good run with them. The only check that, going back to the check that was 2,650, I knocked the guy out. I almost killed him, bro. And I concussed him, and he didn't wake up till the next morning.
Yeah, that's scary too.
Yeah, they took him out on the stretcher, and the fight was supposed to be televised, and I think the extra 400 was so that they didn't televise it. Cause see, I was never supposed to be. The fights in Fantasy Springs, I wasn't meant to win. I was fighting guys that were from Indio, that were being looked at by Golden Boy.
Golden Boy gave you a couple fights, and then they quickly started using you.
They did. I mean, everybody.
No. They didn't use me. They were using me till they didn't use me anymore, but they still weren't trying to give me a contract. So I was like, yo, why am I selling 100? The thing was that I understand is that they were signing individuals that didn't sell tickets. They were signing individuals that just knew people, right? For me, I was selling 100 tickets. It's not easy for 100 people from LA to drive all the way to Fantasy Springs.
Yeah, especially Fantasy Springs.
And drop cash, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm selling 100 tickets, I expect you to be interested in signing me. So after the second fight in Fantasy Springs, that I sold 100 tickets, and they were like, oh, we're gonna move you up 6 rounds next time. And I'm like, yeah, but where's the contract? Oh no, one more fight. I was like, you've been telling me this since fight number 1. Fight number 1, you put me with a guy that was 0-7. And then you put me with Cameron Creel. Shout out to Cameron. He's still fighting.
I like Cameron Creel because
he's still fighting, bro.
He's talking about a guy that got better on the job.
Ooh, dude. And
he beat who did he beat?
We got a draw. So that was my second fight, and I got a draw
from Vegas he beat Maurice Lee.
Yeah, Maurice Lee.
Yeah,
Maurice that guy's funny.
He
he can't take a loss.
Yeah.
Some guys can't take a loss. But Cameron, he taught me a lot. He was only 17.
Cameron's like Tevin Farmer in some ways. People don't know quite who he is, but I mean,
he loses, but he
like
learns.
4 or 6 losses, but like I know he's at a string of wins.
Yeah. No, he just lost his last one.
He had one loss, so he had 3 or 4 wins in a row.
Yeah.
But if you look, it's good.
It's hard to do, you know. And if you're able to come out of that
I just liked
cycle
him because
where you get a couple losses, you come out of that string together.
I actually follow him, man, because
I was in city boxing a little bit in Vegas like a year and a half ago or something, and he was in there with his trainer. But it was cool just to see, like, you know, people, you know, we're told in boxing that if you lose, that this is it.
It kind of is it.
But you got a guy like
keep trying.
You see Cameron, maybe if you would have gotten in a little bit better decisions, could have been in a Tevin Farmer like situation.
Yeah, but he took a lot of hard fights.
Yeah, he took a lot of hard fights. The guy didn't, you know. So, is he from Hawaii or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's from Hawaii. He's in Vegas. But so I had that fight. I mean, I think I've seen it all except a cut. I never got cut in pros. So I never seen a cut. I did get headbutted once, and it felt like it coming up, and I was like, but no, it was nothing big.
Yeah, in my fight where I got the headbutt, it was crazy because it swelled in like seconds. It swelled completely shut, but there was no cut. And I wonder, like, I don't know, like if that had been a different, you know, hit, maybe it would have been a cut and not so much swelling. But it held completely without.
You're gonna have those things go through your mind though, but like that's just natural. Like you know.
Actually, during the fight, I didn't know it was swelling. I just knew I couldn't see, and I was like wiping my eye. Like, what is this?
You get that weird feeling.
Like, what's going on here? I had one eye then.
Like, why does my eyelash feel fat?
Well, the Cameron fight too, because he boxed all night. It was a draw because I mean I did put it on him the last 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds I couldn't figure him out, man.
Yeah,
he was just boxing the shit out of me, and we got a draw. So that was my second fight. So I had one.
They had you fight him your second fight, huh?
Yeah,
that's crazy too.
And he was
because he had experience at the time, much more experience than I would imagine. Did he have 4 or 5 fights underneath his?
No, he had only one draw. No, he had only one draw. He had one draw. So it was 0-1.
Oh, you got him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think I might have been.
So he started his career with 2 draws?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gnarly.
So then from there we moved to the Phoenix Club for my third fight, and then we moved to the Fantasy Springs for my other fourth and fifth. But then when I kind of was just like, fuck that. You know?
So what's going on with the firefighter thing?
They're gonna reopen on 2020, February 2020 for the application. So I reapply. I've applied twice.
Okay.
I moved.
And then if you get into that, you'll retire for your years from City Hall.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd probably be about.
It's always
years
just
in by
dreams,
then.
you know. I had dreams to win a national tournament. I won the national junior Golden Gloves in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Got to meet Holyfield on a cruise. I got to go to Colorado Springs for the USA.
Yeah, the Olympic training
USA
center?
Opens.
No, okay.
And I fought the districts in, was it Maywood? No. I don't remember where the district was at, but I won the districts, won the regional in Vegas, went to Colorado. I lost the first fight. It was just like, I was up 1-0, second round, I was down 3-1.
The air messes with you too.
Not only that, but just the scoring, the computer scoring. They were doing the
Olympic.
That was whack.
score.
Yeah.
So then after the third round,
I was
down like 9-2, and I was like, what? How did this happen?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of it.
There's so many messes in the amateur boxing at the international level that I don't know if they'll figure it out.
But the experience was nice. I mean, I could see myself living in Colorado. It was nice, bro.
It's beautiful out there.
Beautiful. The air is so fresh. Dude, I was
Where are you living now? You living in Montebello? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember in Colorado Springs, they sent us on a run, and I was only a crazy guy running without a shirt, and I was like, steam was coming out, and the coach was like, dude, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, man, we don't get this in California. Like, are you kidding me? I'm gonna run. Everybody was running with like a sweater, and I was running without a shirt, bro. Literally, like, I enjoyed the weather. It was nice. Like, the experiences that I went through in boxing, I know I wouldn't have went in any other sport. I wouldn't have experienced it in any other sport. Yeah. My coach, my first coach, he used to drive us to Arizona. He knew a bunch of people. Like, he knew this, Randy. He used to do mouthpieces in Montevideo. Randy, he's like a WBC.
Is he the mouthpiece guy?
Maybe.
No, he's not the mouthpiece guy, but I think I know you.
Randy, he had a boxing camp in Coachella or Indio. He had a house in the middle of nowhere, and he said he used to rent it out to like pros. And I was like, oh man, when I turn pro, I'm gonna come here. And when I turned pro, I was like, hell no, I'm not trying to be anywhere like that, because you miss your family. You know, I don't have like no memories of my son, my second son. I don't have no memories from him from birth to like 1, because I was always boxing. I was just work, gym, school, work, gym, school, work, gym, school, run. Like, I would get home, he was asleep already. So like my wife shows me pictures of him, and I'm like, damn, like, I don't remember this. Plus, you're getting hit, sparring. I remember I sparred this Japanese guy they brought from Orange County, and went 6 rounds. And dude, it was on a Saturday morning, and I would go home and I would fall asleep till the night, and then I would wake up and go run. Like, those sparring matches that I had in Ponce.
That's when you get a lot of damages in the sparring.
Even in Maywood, bro. Maywood was known for sparring. Every day, sparring. Forget the bag, spar.
Yeah.
Forget the bag, spar. And I'm like, damn, you know? I think that's where all the damage comes from. It's not the fight, bro.
Long sustained.
No, it's
multiple punches, multiple rounds.
You can't be sparring all damn day and not expect it to have an impact on you.
But you know who I looked up to till he did that crazy, Edwin Valero.
Oh yeah, sure.
I looked up to him a lot, bro, as a kid, because I used to see we used to go to Maywood, and sometimes I would go like just to
Jorge Linares was there during that time too.
Yeah. And he was with them right there.
So was Joanne. Joanne Guzman was running around Maywood at that time too.
When I met him, well, I didn't like meet him, like, but when I first seen him, he was with Linares. Yeah, him and Linares were like, I guess, training together.
Yeah.
And I used to look up to that dude, but man, it's crazy how things happen. I mean, did you look up what I told you about?
Yeah, I did look that up.
You didn't know who he was?
No. About Baltimore. Carlos Baltimore. I know.
You don't know Carlos Baltimore?
No. He got popped for sexual violence
his
case.
daughter.
Oh, you're talking about the...
He just brought up a new topic here. I did know who Edwin Valero is.
But now, I'm going to ask you guys, do you think it's boxing that makes these guys do stuff like that? Not giving them an excuse.
What, Edwin Valero?
Valero, Carlos, I mean, and we can name a whole...
Gotti.
So Carlos Baltimore, the guy that fought... or
Canelo, yeah.
And fought Floyd.
Floyd, yeah.
Got in trouble recently for what?
For molesting his daughter.
It was his daughter?
His daughter, yeah. 6-year-old or something.
The Argentinian.
Yeah.
Damn,
he got 25 years in jail or 15 or something like that.
I didn't hear about this shit.
I've always wondered if boxing had anything to do. Some people get hit more than others.
I don't think you should be getting hit all the time. I think that it's also the sort of people that end up in boxing. I mean, something happened. Something wasn't like you had an upbringing that was different than others.
Yeah. Well. After the Dwayne fight, the next day I did wake up like lisping a little bit, and I was like, "Damn, how many more fights? So this is permanent." So then a week after, it was like for a whole week, like I would my tongue would get stuck like when I was speaking. Yeah. So I was like, "Damn."
You also shared like a few too many stories about going to bed and then waking up like 18 hours later. I think you've mentioned 2 or 3 of those. So, those are incidents right there that you need to.
Yeah, and I don't know if USA Boxing is doing it now, but I think they need a drug test.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this.
They need a drug test because I won't name him, but I fought this one guy that became my friend after a few tournaments, and he admitted to me that he was on drugs.
On performance enhancing drugs. So.
Well, not performance enhancement drugs. He was on street drugs.
He's on coke or something? They said Edwin Valero was snorting coke before sparring.
Yeah, I mean. He was on street drugs, and he admitted to me, he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, that I beat you at the tournament." But so what happened was that he was on street drugs.
He's on meth, probably.
Throughout the tournament, right? And me and him fought at the final at the districts. It was the Junior Olympics, and so every day I just kept seeing him knock out guys, and he looked fat. He He didn't look that way, so he looked fat, but he was knocking everybody out. So I was a little intimidated. So we fought all 3 days together, right? And he would fight right after me. So I would come out of the ring, because it goes by weight, and then he would go in and he would knock these guys out in 1 round. I was like, what the hell? So then finally we got to the final and he stopped me. He didn't knock me out, but he stopped me in the first round. And then after like a year we became friends, and he wasn't boxing no more, but he was
sober. So he's making his amends.
But he was always at the tournaments because he has family, and he admitted to me, he's like, "Dude, I'm sorry, like I was on drugs."
That's wild, man.
And I was just like, damn, like, so I did feel like, man, USA Boxing needs to start, especially in the tournaments, you know what I mean? Especially in the tournaments, because that's not
they don't have the money.
Procedurally,
I get difficult. I get it. But shout out to Joe Sanders.
Yeah, Joe.
He helped me. He got me the USA Boxing Scholarship, Thomas Sarge. I got that while I was going to college. Well, he helped me out with it. He definitely.
We had Joe Sanders on the podcast.
That's why I remember. Like I was like, oh man, I need to shout him out. I mean, shout out to everybody that helped me. It's been a crazy road. You know what I mean? And I even applied. It's funny. I applied for the fire department the first time in 2014, when I was like on the verge of like just retiring undefeated, and then I didn't have my heart fully into the LAFD or fire department. People are like, "Oh no, apply everywhere, every fire department." I just want to work for one, and that's LAFD, not county, not this one. I want to work for LAFD, so I'm only putting all my marbles there. But what if it doesn't happen? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, dude. There's firefighters that join the job at 40. The oldest cadet candidate that just graduated was like 50, and he was the top of his class. It's never too late, bro. If you want it,
I believe you can make it happen. I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
especially
your uncle and your grandpa thought I'd be a good firefighter. They were even trying to convince
at my fight. Did you talk about? Oh, that's awesome.
They were trying to convince me to get him to quit boxing. I was like, I can't.
Your
grandma. Yeah. Your grandma was like.
But yeah, that's cool.
It sounds like some family shit too.
Yeah. I know you guys checked.
Nobody wants to fight anybody in their family.
Well, we were talking about it, and then after when your fight happened, your grandma looked at me like, he needs to find something else. I was like, You know what the problem with us is? That you can't tell us that. We got to figure that out on our own.
It takes some time.
Yeah, it takes some
it's
time.
Addicting, right?
Oh, it's super addicting. That's why I say boxing's a drug. Definitely a drug. Definitely a drug. Do I miss it? No. Do I miss a pro? No. Do I miss an amateur? Yes. I miss the amateurs. And I wish that they would implement a new way.
Will you let your boys box?
No.
Hockey.
I wouldn't let them box, but I wouldn't stop them because I wouldn't want anybody to stop me from my dreams. You think people haven't came up to me and said, "You're crazy. You went from boxing, now you want to be a firefighter? You're gonna put your life on the line for other people?" Yeah, it's what I want to do. It's my dream. It's my dream.
Somebody has to do it.
And you know, I want to do it for myself, right? I want to do it for the city. I want to do it for my family. I want to give them another option. See, I take my son to UFC gym. I take him to the swimming lessons. I take him to see everything, so he could have options, not just like be like, yeah, but you have to be a boxer like your dad. No, he doesn't have to be that. I did that. There's no. How many out of a million boxers on BoxRec, how many make it?
Yeah, I'm reading a good book right now. It's called Range by.
Probably like 150.
I forget the guy's name, but the concept is actually in the opening of the book. He does this analogy between Tiger Woods and Roger Federer, and the
Federer is the tennis player.
Tennis player, right? And the premise of the book is that we have a very specialized society right now, but I guess and I'm not finished with it, but I guess the hypothesis of the book is that being well versed and diversified in your different skill sets actually is better for performing expertise than the common notion that we have to specialize super early on. And anyway, in this little case study that he put side to side, you see that Roger Federer had actually, who's best tennis player in the world, or for many years was, whatnot. His mom was a tennis pro, a teaching pro, and she didn't let him compete tennis only up until like a certain age. He was like meant to pick it himself, but instead she had him playing like 6 different sports, and he was doing every single thing, and he found tennis on his own, and that was like a big part of his development and his skill set by picking up all these different things from different sports. And I mean, it's a little bit different than the common idea of like getting someone into a club sport right away and doing it. But I think it's good to have a lot of options.
I have seen a lot of kids that box since they were like 5'4",
and they burn out.
They burn out, bro.
Yeah,
too much of a demand.
I can name a lot, and
it's good to have.
There was a lot of guys that I just seen burn out, but there was the only guy that I always wanted to fight as an amateur, and I never got a chance to because I would always lose before the final, was Molina. Oscar, if I'm right. I think it was Oscar. He was always on my way because...
Is he the older
Javier.
brother?
Sorry, Javier.
He's one of the twins.
The twins, yeah. I always wanted to fight him, but he probably would have beat me. He was a little crafty. He is crafty.
Good, yeah.
But Carlos would fight... Oscar would fight at 52, and Javier would fight at 41. And I never got the opportunity to fight him or spar him, actually. My first sparring with a pro was with Panchito Bojado.
Oh shit, that's a good guy to spar with those.
Yeah. And my first sparring with the pro was you, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go.
Or at least my first one that was. Seriously. I might have moved around with somebody back in the day, but
I was 16 when I sparred Panchito, and to tell you the truth, now that I'm older, Panchito was Frankie Gomez was Panchito. Same thing. Same thing, bro. It's crazy. I never thought I was gonna see that happen. Like when I seen what happened to Panchito Bojado, in his era.
You know what happened to a bunch of them? You know who he is? Drunk, went to jail.
I never thought.
We didn't find out about him because of
washed up his career, but had crazy momentum for the first
But when you say Frankie Gomez, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, that was my era, right? So like it's like the same thing, and it happens, and it's gonna happen in the next era, and it just keeps.
They were
happening.
saying he was gonna be the next one.
You know, if Frankie sees this video, man, I still think he could come back. He's still young.
Yeah.
I still think he has it. Just gotta cut off the wrong people.
Do you have any other messages you want to give out to the audience as we anyone who's listening?
You got to follow you on Instagram or?
No, I don't do social media. I haven't done social media for 6 years. I had a fan page. I did have like a boxing fan page, but it was controlled by my brother.
Yeah.
So my brother had to like connect it to his Facebook. So he worked my page, but no, I don't have any social media. Like the only way you could get a hold of me is if we go to City Hall and we would have a coffee or a beer or some good steak. Or I'm at work. You know they say City Hall is my second home, right?
Right.
It's not. It's my first home. I spend more time there than at home. And the only message I want to give out would probably be for my pops, man. I love my dad, and you know I didn't realize that boxing was for him. It was literally for him. It was the whole time where he spent quality time with me, where he actually did more for me, and not in a dick way either. Like, you know, everybody has their moments and their
It was an opportunity for your relationship with him to grow
and it did, and it grows.
Really,
you know, and I dedicate this interview to him because boxing is him, and even though he never boxed, his love for the sport
I remember him being at the gym with us, being an integral part of your corner, even in the gym, and you were already in your late 20s, and your dad was that involved. So,
he's the one that drove me there.
Yeah.
He drove me there so I could eat what was I eating? I was eating something to whoop you. I was like, I'm gonna meet this kid. I've never met him, but he might be. I'm gonna have to whoop. So I was eating something. I think I was eating like an oatmeal or something, and my dad was driving. I was like, you need to drive me because I need to eat this oatmeal. I gotta whoop this kid.
I like a banana.
And his pops is gonna be there, and I can't let his pops down.
Yeah.
Because his pops was the one that hooked me up.
Kind of connected us. Yeah.
Did you bring us something from the city?
Yeah. What you got over there?
Yeah. So. And these are digitally signed by the mayor, Eric Garcetti, and they're made by me.
There we go.
Because I'm the designer now. So God gave me the ability to use my hands for something else. So first one will be for Daniel Trujillo. And it says, on behalf of the mayor and his residents, I am proud to recognize Boxed In Podcast for their outstanding contributions, commitment, and tireless efforts to preserve the boxing culture in Los Angeles. I commend the enthusiasm, integrity, and exemplary service you have demonstrated to promote cultural heritage in our communities.
That's awesome.
Daniel's behind the lens getting his love.
For Trevor Zambrano.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And for
I'll put on my
the
Instagram.
man, the myth, the legend, Gary McOsker.
Thank you, man. That's awesome.
That's for all you brothers.
Well,
so now that I'm doing this, I'm not very religious, right? But I do believe in God, and I have a lot of alone time. I have friends, but I limit myself to just family, my kids. I want my kids to be my best friends. So you guys are my friends as well. But I didn't find myself till I was alone. And I literally just asked, give me a sign, you know, while I'm getting ready for the fire department, give me a sign, like put me to work, put me something. And this opportunity presented itself. Dude, I had no knowledge. Dude, this is me. Like this gold right here.
Yeah.
I do it with the dip pen.
Really?
I didn't have any knowledge of how to do that. It looks like a little blade that opens up when you put pressure on it. The more pressure you put, the more ink that comes out. Mm-hmm. I learned this by just wanting to learn it. By the guy that did it getting the boot. No, I just seen them do it.
Oh, wow.
And then once I told them I could do it, and they had faith in me. So I want to thank Office of Mayor Eric Garcetti, everybody that supports me, that believes in me. My mentors say, you have the ability to do anything you put your mind into, and it's true, bro. I've heard of people in jail learning how to master anything they put their mind into with limited resources. So I know that we can do anything. Just you have to put time. I mean, I'm still getting better at it.
Yeah.
But if I showed you my work from 2016 to right now, this is butter right here. Mm-hmm. Butter. That's awesome, man. You know, and I don't mess it up. If a little bit of ink gets on another part of it, I gotta redo it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm learning how to use Photoshop every day. And not only that, the best part of the job is that people actually appreciate these, mm-hmm. man. They appreciate.
You see them around town
they appreciate, and
restaurants
and
places.
I almost forgot to mention this. So, before I got the job, like months before I got the job, we did one for Triple G.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
And the mayor sent me to present it to him. You can find it online.
Awesome.
So I presented to Chocolatito. Mm-hmm. I presented one to him, and I presented one to Golovkin, and on their weigh-ins outside the
Staples or
no, it wasn't Staples.
The one Home Depot?
No. The other one, the Forum. Mm-hmm. So, dude, I go up there, like, you know, representing the mayor, nervous. I had the ring girls right next to me, and I present to Golovkin. Dude, I got to shake his hand. That was an honor. And Chocolatito, I got to hold his WBC belt, take pictures with him. It was amazing, bro. It was an amazing, you know. So I'm still involved in boxing. I'm not to say it like that, but I'm probably one of the only guys that actually watches all of your episodes. And not only once.
No, I know. Yeah, you've texted me.
Not only once, bro. I go, like, the one that I just seen through for the third time was with the ringside.
Yeah, that's good.
The
episode,
owner.
huh?
That's the owner, right?
Yeah.
Dude, how can I not? Like, when he said, professionals, I don't promote that.
Yeah.
It's cutthroat, pretty much. He said it like it's a cruel business. I was just like, huh? Finally, somebody says it.
It's interesting to get the perspective of everyone involved.
Yeah,
right?
so, you know, I thank you guys for this opportunity.
We thank you, shit.
And I thank you for continuing doing it, because it keeps me entertained, bro. I put on, I'm running. I hear when I'm running, when I'm working, when I'm showering, whatever, you know. I do that because people don't understand. Like, you don't have to be in boxing around it mm-hmm. to actually be involved. I hate going to fights. I personally hate it. I don't like going to fights. I went to his fight.
Yeah. Sorry for how it turned out, but we'll fix that.
I went to his fight out of love, to be there, to have his back. But who did I go with? I went alone. I drove over there by myself, and I was with his family.
You sat with my
yeah.
dad,
I don't really have boxing friends that we could be like, oh yeah, let's go to a boxing fight. Yeah. Except my manager. Manager is a cool guy. He's very humble. He'll be like, oh, let's go to fights, blah, blah, blah. So we do get to go here once in a while. I'll go with him because, you know, I have mad love and respect for him. But personally, if you tell me, hey, are you going to go to that fight? No, yeah. I'm not going to go. Dude, I'll watch it at home.
I'll go if I have to. If people are going, but. And
then I'll go but yeah, the boxing, it's just like, it's in my past. It's like an ex-girlfriend. Bye. Not looking back, girl. I'm out. And then but now, we gotta move forward, man. We gotta move forward, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
As a athlete, I wish you the best as a coach. All of your guys, I know they're in right hands. They're in good hands, because if I would have been in the right hands, and a lot of these other individuals that I mentioned, Dwayne, Cameron,
lots of guys.
You know, there was even a guy, Ramon Valadez, that I used to look up to. He came up with Frankie. And him too, they one wrong route, and then he ended up being just meat to the Sharks. Yeah. I want to shout out also, I can't think of his name, but the officer that got Frankie his deal, he reached out to me. He came to City Hall. He tried to recruit me, bro, and I actually said yes. And we were gonna I was gonna go on a leave from work for 2 weeks. He was gonna send me to Big Bear, and he was gonna have Abel Sanchez train me. And if Abel thought that I had what it took, he was gonna build me up to try to get me a deal. And I got cold feet the last minute because I knew that if I did that, I was gonna lose my job. Like, I was gonna have to quit my job. He told me, like, if we get you, I'll help you. I'll get somebody to pay you to train in Big Bear, and I'll get you a contract with Top Rank, with Golden Boy. I'll get you the deal. I got you. But you gotta leave it in my hands. And I called him, and I think he did get mad. He got mad. He's a very straightforward guy. But he just said, if it's not, this is one time opportunity. No coming back. I don't regret it. Because if I would have made that mistake, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be trying to become a firefighter. I'd probably be...
I mean, and your city connections is going to probably come in handy when the application for the fire department. And someday you'll put in 30 years in the fire department, and you're going to be glad you played the way you did.
Everybody supports me for whatever I do. But they support me more with the fire department. All my mentors, everybody, even your pops, your uncles, your cousins. Even though your cousins, none of them, one of you want to become firefighters. Everybody?
One of them's working on it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, your grandpa was telling me that nobody wants to, or nobody wanted to.
That was a couple years ago. Maybe he just didn't. No.
So I think I have a very good family going on with the city, with my family, with my kids. So I just feel like boxing did what it could for me, and now it's on to the next. I do teach it to my kids as a defense, for defense or whatever, but I don't promote it like that, But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, hockey. Let's get your kid, get him sharpen his skates, and let's get him playing hockey.
Hockey's about to start, so I'm definitely gonna be watching a lot of hockey. I don't miss one game. I'm a big Ducks fan. So.
That's right. You did start out in Orange.
Yeah, I went to the first game in '93.
Damn.
Yeah, I started off very young. You can catch any picture I show you from my early '90s. I was always wearing that Ducks hat. But I think that's why maybe I'm losing hair, because I was always wearing that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I'm glad we finally got together and did the episode.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you so much. I'm sure people at home enjoyed listening to your story.
Yeah.
And thank you for being so honest and sharing everything you did.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.